That was a real y'all scared to talk about what the y'all like, cause y'all so worried about what these bitches gonna think. Baby, if you piss on me, make sure along you get my hair done after. Yeah. Face and give me a nice little fart in.
Sukihana just went on Hollywood Unlocked and completely showed her behind. She has no limit in which she would go with her ratchetness. And to make it even more sad is that she's a mother. Check this out.
Like I tell people, the best pussy is in the hood. They don't listen. I know it. Bitches just don't know they got that snapper out there. You feel me? That's all. And you end up with all these kids and shit. 6 kids. I'm gonna have 7. Yep, I'm already on my 3rd one. I'm finna pop out another baby. But if your coochie good, tell everybody. You don't gotta hide it. Don't let these bitches try to humble you up because they shit stink. If that coochie good, sing it to the world. It's yours.
Oh my God, she's about to have another one. I feel sorry for how our kids is going to be because of her music. But anyway, tonight on Thursday Night Therapy, we talk about that. And is teaching our kids how to date overstepping or good parenting? Let's go.
Welcome to Thursday Night Therapy, things you talk to your therapist about. The show where we dive into the good, the bad, and the downright awkward conversations we all have, or maybe we should have in therapy.
I'm Champagne, a single woman on a journey to build a life rooted in self-love, balance, and authenticity.
I'm Dante. I'm once married and now divorced and dating as a single father.
So now I'm a happily married man who still doesn't stand for the trick mentality that is destroying our community.
I think I really trust you too much.
Hey guys, what's up? What's up? Welcome to Thursday Night Therapy, things where you talk to your therapist about. The show where we dive into the good, the bad, and the downright awkward conversation we all should have, or maybe should have, in therapy. Tonight's topic: teaching your kids how to date, good parenting or overstepping. Let's talk about it. But before we get into that, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that every time that we go live, you know when we're up. Just a reminder, tonight's topic, teaching your kids how to date, good parenting or overstepping. Let's talk about it. But first, let's talk current events. Let's go, guys and gal.
What's up? Yeah, Dad, Cat, we thought you was going to, you should have, you was going to lip sync for her. You know what I'm saying? That voice that you heard right there, that was Champagne. She's not able to get her video feed in right now. She's tied up. So, but, her voice still graces us with her presence. Okay. But anyway, okay. Introduce yourself real quick, Kat, since we didn't get you on the intro so they know who you are if they haven't seen it.
Okay. I am Kat, married, divorced. That's me, single mom.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Okay, y'all. As y'all seen in the video that we just showed at the beginning of the show, this generation is really out of hand, man. Like these they would just go through any limits that they can just to get some attention or to do their thing or whatever, and it's just crazy. And I just want to show just a little bit more of that interview with Sukihana, because I mean this is who we have in front of our young generation, and we got to look at this. So I'm gonna just play a little bit of a little bit more of that interview so you guys can just check it out. And like I said, if you don't know her, like I said, she's ratchet, and a lot of these little females is watching her and they're acting just like her. So let's just play it just a little bit and we'll be right back. Hold on one second.
So how do you know when that coochie good? I feel like a lot of y'all don't know when y'all coochie good. That's the problem. That's why y'all be with them bum ass niggas. You don't know that cat 5 for real. But you really gotta pay attention to people's actions, the people that's around you. You gotta pay attention to how niggas treat you. You gotta pay attention to how your family treats you, okay? Yeah. You gotta pay attention to how you wash that pussy, because some of y'all don't wash that ass. And that's why you wake up mad every day. That's why you in them comments upset with everybody else and speaking on what the fuck I'm doing. Yeah. I feel like good coochie is that grip. It's that snapper. It's wet. It smell good. It's clean. The inside of your body need to be clean, bitch. Some of y'all got condoms in your pussy that stuck up there that been up there for 4 years. Paps.
Okay, I had to stop it there. I mean, oh, Lord have mercy, man. I mean, how much more could I take? Man, like I said, this is a whole culture of ratchetness. it's in our culture now. Like this is what sells. They don't put nobody like old school Sister Soldier or somebody that's talking positive. They're gonna put somebody in front of us just like her that is talking this crazy stuff, man. And these kids, I'm telling you, she is popping right now. She's one of the top artists, and the more ratchet you are, the more they push it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, this is real counterproductive because, like I said, our kids are looking at this, man, and they following this image. Just like when they show like drill music, to our young cats with Chief Keef and all them came out. This promotes negativity, and you see why things is happening like this, man. So how y'all feel about it?
I'm on the fence. I think it's what you filter. She's doing her thing. She's speaking her mind. But then somebody else is out there spewing positivity and stuff. So I think it's what you filter, your algorithm, because I don't get into none of that. So when I hear it, I'm like, wow, brave lady putting your business out there.
What about you, man? How you feel about that?
Man, I apologize. My service has been cutting in and out. Y'all let me know if y'all have trouble hearing me. But
well, I can hear you.
First of all, my baby Suki say, if that coochie good, sing it to the world. She's funny as hell. She said, that coochie good, sing it to the world, baby. So no, man, there's some truth on both sides, man. It's one of those things where you're right, Chuck. We don't see a lot of positive Black female role models being pushed to the forefront. We don't see a bunch of that. The ones that we do see pushed to the forefront are typically the Sukis and stuff like that. And to your point, a lot of young ladies who maybe don't look up to their mom or argue with their mom or don't have that visual of what they want to be, they get on IG and they see something like that, and maybe they begin to aspire to be what they see. I know when I was young, father wasn't around, I aspired to be what I saw on TV, whether it was a gangster or a football player or a basketball player, or the dudes around the hood. Just influences, they do matter. And I do see a lot more of like the Sukis and the Sexy Reds being pushed, a lot of ass shaking, a lot of show your body, a lot of use people for their money being pushed on the internet. But also to Cat's point, there are algorithms at play, and we do semi-control what we see. So, some of it is our own accountability, but a lot of it is, bro, I don't think that the young girls have a lot of good examples to even choose from in the first place. And that's not all just... Yeah. That's who they.
It's not. It's a double-edged sword. It really is. It's a double-edged sword because we can, I can turn on the news and find, or just scroll my feed, and I can find many, many positive ladies, and some of them are not as internet famous or celebrities wise, and I love it. I follow them. So I honestly do think it's just the environment. As much as I want to keep my kids away from it, they're drawn to what they know or drawn to what they like. I just try to be a good parent behind the scenes, But she got a point. She got a point. She got a point. You don't want to sound ratchet, as you called it. But you want to be like, yes, it's good. I know it's good. It's good. It's great, and I don't know.
Yeah, but everybody's good.
Everybody's
good, man.
To them. So yeah. So what she's saying is she's just saying like, if you feel like what is it? You feel like your dick is good, like you you gonna scream it from the top. As soon as the lady come up, you're gonna be like, I got the good. I give good.
Oh my God.
Get this good. So is it that when a man does it, it's acceptable versus when a woman does it? See, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, it's like, okay, me as a grown man, right? I can process information, and it's not going to affect how I think or view or it's not going to mold me. But as a younger child, when this is empowering, it's hard for them not to gravitate towards what they feel is a strength. Like this is in the bad bitch mode where everybody wants to be a queen, bad bitch, and things like that, and be half naked. If you had seen on this, she had her. I mean, she just had her titties just busted out right in front of you. Like we have no morals, man. Like, and if the parents aren't into the kids, reinforcing them, telling them what's right and wrong, then they're naturally going to follow these things. Like they know what they're doing. Just like I said, why do you think in different countries they have different laws against these things? Because they know how it's going to affect people. You know what I'm saying? Because human nature, I mean, when you see a naked woman out there and she's flashing all of her stuff, then your mind is automatically going to go to the dirt. You know what I'm saying? Especially as a youngster. So, I mean, this is this is damn near porno, man. For real. I mean, they might as well just be butt ass naked. For real.
But okay,
I mean,
I get it, but that's not going to stop Megan. That's not going to stop any gorilla. Is that how you pronounce it? It's not going to stop none of them from doing what they're doing, because even if, like, back in the day, you figure that was our little Kim. That was Tina Howard. That was that. So we had that, but we also had the, the positive or the funny, so that's where, until now, the whole cancel culture and stuff. So, I mean, I'm not knocking what you got to say, but I get it with the parenting thing. I've tried to shield my kids, but I'm sure my mother tried to shield me from stuff. And
yeah, I mean, and that's exactly what it's going to come back to, is parenting. I mean, hey, here's the thing. It's your job to raise your kids. And granted, there are influences around or whatever the case. What Charles Barkley say? I'm not a role model. He's a basketball player, and naturally we look up to him, and he has said, whoa, stop. Don't do that. Don't look up to me.
Right.
Because, the reality is it comes down to us as parents, parenting, our involvement and stuff like that. So, like you said before, cat double-edged sword, because it can be kind of a cop-out sometimes if you just point to, well, the internet it's tearing my kids up. Well, what are you doing to combat that if you already know that as a parent? So, I mean, obviously nothing is ever black and white. There's a lot to it. Obviously, it would be easier to parent if my children didn't have all these negative influences, but knowing that my children have all these negative influences also tells me that I need to step up my parenting.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Right. But see, the thing is, though, like, okay, this is the thing. We don't control the media. What happened was, like, okay, back in around the late 80s, there was an actual movement that was a positive movement that was headed by Public Enemy, where it was a stop the violence movement, and everybody was on board, even like the West Coast, and everybody got on board. But once the powers that be, they took Public Enemy off and they replaced it with gangsterism, and they replaced it with Little Kim and all these ratchet females. Like it controls, because listen, during that Public Enemy era, right, there was a lot of people, and there was a lot of people that actually got into the movement that like actually spearheaded the Million Man March, like, because people were conscious back then. That was around the time the Malcolm X movie came out. I think music was on a more positive trend, and it was selling too. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like, like I said, that West Coast gang member stuff came, and it just changed everything. You know what I'm saying?
But again, it's the parents.
Disrespectful.
It's the parents, because I remember that song. I remember that song, Self-Destruction. I remember that song so well that I could sing each part, and I can hear their voices in my head, like Self-Destruction, okay? So I get it. Yes, UNITY, you had Queen Latifah, and that was amazing. But yes, I also remember Clarence Carter from my parents, like Clarence Carter was doing his thing. He was saying some ratchet stuff, and, yes, Nicki Minaj, the Little Kims, and we took a little bit of everything from each, but my parents didn't shield us, but they did keep, I'm not gonna say they didn't shield us. They did keep some music. They felt like until you were old enough, you couldn't do that. But when you just, I guess I stay on that double-edged sword, because the most wholesome songs out there, Prince's Little Red Crab, he's chopping it up just seductively, you know. So I like her ratchetness, or her, you know, her truth.
Man, listen. So it's basically a little bit of both of what y'all saying. I mean, it's always going to come back to parenting at the end of the day. But to Chuck's point, the industry does pick and choose what it pushes. And there was a point where black music was positive and rooted in love, and it was reggae, and it was slow songs, and it was beautiful. And there was a point where
industry who's at the top.
Yeah, correct. That's what Chuck is saying. He's saying that we don't control that part. Other people control that part. That's what Chuck was saying, and he's right. They control what they push, and there did come a time in the '80s where what they started to push was that gangster music and all of that gangster rap. And for the young men who didn't have fathers in their lives, or didn't have those role models or examples to look up to, we did look up to as an 8-year-old kid. Hey, I couldn't help it. I wasn't smart enough or intelligent enough to go, I need to be my own person and not think about what I'm saying. I wasn't there yet. I was 8. I saw basketball players. I wanted to be them. I saw football players. I wanted to be them. But I also saw some gangster rappers, and they look pretty cool too. To Chuck's point, you know, they do control that part of the narrative. So if you're not careful, it's really easy to fall into. And I think that they're doing it with our young black females, with the Sukihanas, with the Sexy Reds. Gorilla, I mean, I like her songs. She's not that bad. But there's some others that are out there that just aren't really great examples. And I do think that certain parts of the industry are helping to push the ones that aren't really the best example. I do think there's some of that.
Right.
And I get it. Like Cash Doll has been like my right now, that one song, Cash Commandments. And I feel like she's not getting some of the trajectory. She's still sexy. She's still doing her thing. But
I like Cash.
Yeah. There's another girl, Bree Bass. Yeah. They drop in jewels and stuff, but they're not, like you said, promoted to that point.
Right.
Even then,
but see,
I mean, come on, but the Ella Mays and the Janae Aiko, there's some women who make some beautiful
Monet.
Beautiful.
I agree.
The beautiful music
Absolutely.
is not pushed. The beautiful music isn't pushed.
I agree.
It's that ratchet, fuck my baby daddy is what they're hearing. Go ahead, Chuck.
I just think it's a form of art. Also on this note, like you look at Janelle Monáe, I think she is talented. She's gorgeous.
For sure.
But she's also one of those that she just did that with his Lipstick Lover. And that video was so provocative. But some people love it. Some people don't. And I wasn't used to seeing that on TV when I was coming up. But I love her other song Float. So I'm going to follow because of the music, you know. Let her speak her mind. Say.
Right. But okay, I'm gonna make one last point and then we're gonna move to our main topic. Okay. And just to follow up on that. Now, even when it kind of switched to gangster rap, right? It still was a revolutionary undertone even in the rap. If you listen to like Ice Cube, Scarface and stuff like that, they still had a revolution. They were still conscious. But this new generation has no conscience whatsoever. It's all just straight up killing,
man.
Yeah, exactly. It's straight up killing, hoeing. I mean, it's at an all-time level, man. And it's like, damn. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it does affect, because I'm telling you, even my nephews and them, they was running around here with long braids looking like Chief Keef. You know what I'm saying? Talking about their, drilling and all. I mean, I made a whole movie about this. One of their friends got murdered, and they was living out this thing, man, thinking this was real. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it can be real. And, but your life could be gone. Okay. Mike G said propaganda. Absolutely. It's propaganda. Okay. So we're going to go to our main topic. Yeah. All right. Our main topic is teaching your kids how to date, overstepping, or good parenting. Now, we always know that, like, what we see, especially as a child, is part of the environment in which we live. Okay. When I was younger, my father told me, it's flat out, like, listen, women come a dime a dozen, don't have any feelings for them, just hit it and run. And he taught me this since I was like 8 years old. And I took after it as a youngster. There was no way that I could have any type of feelings for a female. I was incapable of being emotionally attached to a female. I wanted to hit, but I was just not programmed that way from the household. Like that women, they meant me no good. The only thing they were good for is having sex with them. This is what I was taught. So I became that. He turned me into a monster, man. Like I really did. Like I said, as a youngster, man, I had no feeling for females whatsoever, man. They was just only used for me for sex. That's the only good they had. I mean, I was cool with some of them, but other than that, there was no use for them. You know what I'm saying? So being taught that in the house by my father, like what other, even further along when I actually did get married, I followed his marriage profile, like the way it was structured, and I structured it the same way. I married a little bit older female. Well, she was a lot older than me, but she, you know what I'm saying, she did everything at the house, and then I went out and did my thing, and you know what I'm saying, it's I seen my dad do it, so shit, I thought I should do it. But it wasn't until I seen my father fall from grace and he started being on drugs and things like that. And then, like, you know, and he eventually had passed away later on. And none of these hoes that he was always running around being away from his wife was at his funeral. You know what I'm saying? And that's, as a young man, we see things like it even more so than what you say. We see how you move, and we see the end result of how you moving. Like he was working at the post office, and you know what I'm saying, and I just seen him. I'm like, man, shit, all them people up there was miserable. He had been there for 20, 30 years. So I was like, man, hell no, I couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And just seeing that with how he did with his females, that kind of affected me too, because I'm like, man, you doing all this for these females, and really these females ain't shit, dog, for real. You know what I'm saying? You know, I had to really come to grips with that, you know, in my mind, because this is how I was taught. You know what I'm saying? So I had plenty of good women in my time that were wifey material. And like I said, I just could not see it because I was programmed a certain way. It's just almost like, let's look at how the programming thing goes. Like when people, like, let's say white folks, all right, when they see a black man die, you know what I'm saying, and they'll still go have their coke and shit, like, damn, man, what did he do? You know what I'm saying? Even the George Floyd thing where he was choked on camera, they still thought, like, what did he do? But if it happens to an animal, then they react a totally different way, no matter what the animal did. So it's all about how you're programmed as a child subconsciously to how you view things and how you process information that you see. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, like, yeah, look, the parents, man, look, if you have those dysfunctions, I mean, you could try to hide them, but your kids are going to see them. You know what I'm saying? There's no way that if you live with somebody, they're going to see them. But go ahead. You could go ahead and respond to it.
And I get where you're going with it. My kids range from 32 down to, I have 17-year-old twins. But my eldest son can tell you what I told him is, I was like, I want you to be a gentleman. I said, but you need to have a little bit of jerk in you. I said, no woman wants a pushover, but she doesn't want somebody that's gonna, you don't ever put your hands. So what I was learning in life is how I taught my son. So I hope that when he goes out there, he meets somebody, that he does look at the person, that he doesn't fall into the status quos of what maybe is in the Black community as far as sleeping around or, whatever the case may be. So I totally get it. I think it's a parenting style, but I also think it's knowing your kids, So
wait a minute. You told your son to be a jerk? You told your son to be a jerk?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
Yes, I did.
Tell me why. Why is it? Why?
Because if he's too nice and he pays for everything, then he's getting walked over, or at least that's how he's going to feel. The women just take advantage of me, because women want to feel protected. They want to feel like they have somebody to turn to. So my kids have always seen me do the painting, the lawnmower, the this, that. So I have a perspective that it's hard to be a man, but you should be respected. And if she's a good woman for you and she makes you feel all these great things, sexually, emotionally, physically, whatever, then give it a try. Don't dog her out. If you don't want to be with her, walk the fuck away. Like, let her go be, and you find your own life, or whatever the case may be, or don't get in a relationship at all. Figure out who you are. But my kids have seen it from me. So, so having the range, just like now my 17-year-olds are seeing mom just chill. Mom is just living and hoping that somebody can see that, like, hey, I'm just a good person. I'm more than just what somebody's a roll in the hat, So I don't know. So it could be good parenting, but it could be overstepping depending on the message that you give your kid. You could be overstepping. It's my take.
Like I said, that's why I say, go ahead, Dante. Go ahead. I'll let you
Dante, tell me.
Yeah, man,
tell me I'm wrong.
No, man, I was just gonna add my own kind of step in here. A lot of it may not even have to do with what you guys were saying, but I'll start by backing up my understanding of what Chuck was saying. So first of all, I totally get it. We all are a product of our environment, and what you grow up around, what you see, they do mold your view of what a man is or what a woman is or whatever the case until you get to a certain age. And then you can kind of shake all of it off. But to Chuck's point and to my point earlier, growing up as young men, my father, same thing. Not a great example as far as in the household. He was with my mother. They were married, but when we would go out places, he'd be honking the horn at other women. Had a very wandering eye all over the place. They divorced shortly after, a couple of years after. But and then he would come and go, and he didn't set a good example as a father, and just all of those things end up adding up. So as a result of his absence, I look to other people for examples of a man, whether it be my uncle or my big cousin or the dudes in the neighborhood or whatever the case. So here's the thing, though, is that no matter what my mom said, because here's the thing about a woman, that it takes a man to raise a man. A woman can't raise a man to be a man. So no matter what my mom said, no matter what her words were, it was the men that she placed around me that I learned to be a man from, no matter what she said. And yes, she said all of the right things and tried to tell me those things too. And you just don't listen to your mom when you're 16, 17, 18-year-old boy, man. You don't hear her the same as you will hear literally a stranger will stop you at the 7-Eleven. Hey, young man, listen, man, and you'll listen to him. But your mom will be, and they just don't sit the same. So, man, a lot of the times when the examples of men are around them, so you place good examples of good men around and you'll get that. But if you don't have good examples, it's a rough start. I'm similar to you, Chuck. My younger years, boy, I was out here.
Hold on.
Get this. Right. Go ahead, Karen.
It's okay. This is why I said I can play both sides of this, because I was my daughter is 32. I am 47. Do the math. I was hot.
Right.
I was hot. I listened to the game. I listened to how it made me feel. Yeah. So I get it. And I had great role models. But, my friends got in my ear. So it's a fine line of how you're developing, So I wanted to be cool. So I did certain things. But if I would have went home and told my parents, man, my mother and father would have choked the living. But I also wanted to be liked. So I don't know. I see it both sides, though. I see, yes, you have to have a good environment, or if your environment is not good, get it.
Right.
But
like I said, I mean, you imputed things, to your son that you thought that were strengths in a man. So, I mean, that could go both ways too.
I didn't tell him like to beat a person, but yeah, I think that men have the right to be a little bit of a jerk. You should.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I get it. Women like a man a little edgy. I get that. I get it. You don't want them to be weak. Yeah. But I honestly don't think that there are other ways of showing strength other than just being a jerk. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some people are just a jerk naturally. And, and there's a lot of little punk motherfuckers that be acting like they jerks, but they punks though. They pump faking. You know what I'm saying? They acting like jerks just to be a jerk, but they really ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? It's a smoke screen. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that have low self-esteem are very arrogant and jerky acting because they don't want you to really know who they really are. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I see through stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, as a single mother, it's hard, man. Like I said, if I would have just grew up with my mom and, my mom's mentality and stuff like that, I wouldn't be the guy that I am. My mom's house was built on emotion. You know, I knew when to ask her for stuff, you know what I'm saying, when she was smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? That's when I could get anything that I want from my mom. She would be laughing and shit. And hey, mom, let me go to my boy's crib. Oh, when you need some money too, don't you? You know what I'm saying? It was just, I just knew how to finagle my mom, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And she always wanted the best for me. She's like, even like, you know, with relationships, she would always tell me, you know, to treat women right, things like that. Contrary to my dad, you know, I mean,
My
that's
mom
how
too.
he survived. Like he came up in the 70s where blaxploitation was really prevalent and things like that. And you know what I'm saying, this was the way. It was like everybody wanted to be a pimp. So this is what he tried to impute in me as a young man, which right or wrong, but this is how he got by. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
You know,
So from a
go ahead.
parental perspective,
Uh-huh.
where do you feel like you begin as a parent and teaching your child, and then where the maturity kicks in? Because again, it's about the product. The you know, we're all a product of our environment. We really are.
Right.
Good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah.
But I know that there are some really good people in my children's lives. Like, and all my kids need to do is to tap into that. Like, but at a certain age, like I told them, and I, you know, if you go down on their level and how I talk to my boys, like I said, I have a gamer. And I looked at him and I said, the goal of every game is to level up, right? Is to get to the next level, get to the newest outfit, to do this. I said, so that's life. Like you sit at your game and you will pump, you know? And I tell him, like, so get up, open your book and level up, level your mind up, level your body up. So I push that to them. And you're right. A woman can't raise a man, but she can raise a productive adult. People
Yeah,
can
no, I
raise
mean,
a productive adult. Like,
no, I mean, do the absolute best that you can. Sometimes you dealt that card and you have to, and it's not even fair to you. You guys are trying your hardest. I've seen great moms have badass sons. He want to be out here in these streets. She
yeah,
can't handle him. She can't do it. It's hard. It's because it's not her. She's not supposed to be doing it. She's trying because she's the only one left with that hand to deal. And I feel bad for her because it's like, baby, that's not even your job. His father's supposed to be doing that. This ain't even your loss to take. But
yep.
you there and you feel it and all of that. So I totally get that. But no, you raised a good point. Where do you begin to teach or influence? One thing that I think that's really interesting is that your children's peers matter a great deal. I'll give you an example. You know, my niece was on not a great track in middle school, hanging with some people, and you are who you hang around. You want to do what they're doing. If they're making TikTok videos and skipping school and eating pizza, doing whatever the case, that's what you want to do. My sister and her husband were able to, they ended up moving to a different state and they signed up my niece for volleyball. Well, as a result, her friends were girls who played volleyball. As a result, all of her friends were talking about going to college. As a result, she's in college. But it was just weird that it was like just by her friends changing, she started talking about different things. I don't think she knew it, she recognized it, or whatever the case. But it's good to keep your children in things around positive influences. And if you can, which is always sticky, keeping them away from bad influences. It's hard to tell your child who not to be friends with. That's
Yeah.
where that slick parenting has to come in, where you know who is not good for them to be around, who's the influence, who they listen to Michael more than they listen to me. I'm their dad. I done told them don't go in there and do
Yep.
whoop whoop. And like you said, Kat, you want to be cool in front of your friends. So your friends' in thoughts of you are more important than your dad's thoughts of you right now. So how can I then influence the friends around you? So that's kind of a slick way to get them
Yeah.
in some stuff.
So it's one of those things as I think about dating, and I, you know, again, my daughter is in her relationship. It is what it is. Is that what I would have wanted for her? No. But again, you let them go out there and you hope that what you teach your
Hmm.
kids, or you hope that what they gather in their lifetime when they start to date, they will um, be better than what you dealt with. Because I'm sure y'all have all dealt with some ratchet women, and you'd be like, damn, I was a really nice guy. You like, she just, but then on the flip side, she could feel like I'm a great catch, you know? So I just hope that when my kids get ready to step out there in the world, that I have instilled something in them that will let them know to not be a complete asshole. Like, don't fall into all the quintessential stuff that we all talk about in dating and what we hate about dating.
Right. And in certain things like especially in raising a young man, like teaching them things, about how to date, how to be a man and things like that. What I find a lot of times in a female ran household is that the accountability factor is not nearly as high as when a man is there, because I don't think a lot of times women know how much, how much responsibility you should put on a young man.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, being a man doesn't start at 18. It starts when you're younger, when you start having more responsibilities and you're shown how things are done and how things operate and how the world moves. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can't baby a kid until he's 18 and then be like, okay, go out in the world and be productive. He ain't gonna know. He gonna keep coming back to the crib until he finds his way.
Right. You're so right.
Because he's not set up for success. That's why, they have like little camps and things like that. Just like, when my daughter was younger, she always went away. Like my oldest daughter always went to like dance camps, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. She would go different cities. So once she got into college and things like that, she was ready. She was used to being away from the crib. You know what I'm saying? Because she had already did this as a child. She wasn't scared. But as a young man, if you ain't never did stuff like this, you're not going to really know what you're doing. And you might hang around the wrong influences that might tell you to do it wrong. You know what I'm saying? So if you haven't seen it, it's really hard to duplicate it because, you're reinventing the wheel, man. So you're going to be, you're going to be behind other people, just like you said, Dante. Like, you got to figure things out for yourself. Now, like I said, if you got somebody that's guiding you like a GPS, you could be more efficient as you get older because like, hey, get your credit score together as a young man, do this. There was little subtle things that my dad, I remember this one time I wrote a bad check. Like, I wrote a check at this check cashing place and I ain't had the money. I was like, man, fuck it, bro. They just gonna get it when I get it. But then they sent me a thing for me to go to court. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, fuck that, man. I ain't paying this shit. And my dad was just like, man, Chuck, just pay the damn $100, man. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yeah, you're right. I mean, so I just gave it to him. But that could have been a damn passing bad check charge on my shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just little shit. You just don't understand. Like, you got it. Like, and another thing too, like, as a parent too, we definitely have to be there when they process their information. Like, when I remember like things were happening, like I was seeing things on TV, like my mom would have me watching like Roots and stuff like that. And she would just always tell me. So in my mind, it was like, this is the type of woman that I want, because I was watching like Roots and things like that. You know what I'm saying? I want a woman like Cicely Tyson when I was younger. You know what I mean? Because she was like such a strong, you know what I'm saying, like woman, of character. And that's the type of woman, that was my motto as a kid. I wanted somebody like Cicely Tyson because of my mother. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because we watched these movies and she was, you know what I'm saying? So we just, like I said, man, we got to be there like to actually help kids when they see things, process that information and make sure that it's going in the right direction that it should go. You know what I mean? Because they can look at things totally different than when we look at it.
And I will say this, I totally agree with you as far as some women cannot hold young men accountable, let alone any of their kids accountable. I had to learn that, and now it's different. And as you said, they're very close to leaving, but everything that I did speak to them earlier on, now my kids are coming back like, so I'm hoping that I catch them before they leave, that the accountability kicks in a little bit more. But I definitely agree with you. I agree with you. It's hard for a woman to till 50, really, Jody? Wow.
Yes, I hope my daughter won't start dating until she's about 50. I heard that.
For real.
It's rough.
No, yeah, no. I share some similarities. I had to go back to my mom and say, you know what, you was right. But that's the life you live when you don't have that male influence, and it's just your mom. All she can do is tell you over and over. And I bumped my head, And then as I grew, got a family of my own, I had to go back to my mom and tell her that she was right. So that does happen that way when you kind of out here trying to figure it out on your own, and all you have is a female trying to teach you how to be a man. You pushing her off at first, but as you live life, things become the fruition that she done said all along. And it's like, damn. So Chuck, actually similar story to you, but opposite result. I had some parking tickets. I got some speeding tickets when I was about 19, bro. And I said what you said. I ain't paying this shit. See, my pops wasn't there to say, man, pay that shit. So they suspended my license. So then they caught me on a suspended license. So then they took me to jail. So then they suspended my license again for having points for fucking getting caught with a suspended license, the speeding in the first place, the 2 tickets. It was a disaster in my life. From 19 to 21 was rough as hell for me with that whole situation. And if I would have had an uncle, a father, a big brother, OG to tell me like, nah, bro, if you don't pay that ticket, they're gonna suspend your license.
Right. Right.
Nobody told me. I was 19. I'm like, man, I ain't gonna pay
that shit.
Yeah,
And right. Okay, so mine wasn't like a speeding ticket or nothing like that. But my uncles, they fought in the, they went overseas, they fought and stuff. They came back, but they came back with bad drug habits. Do you know my mother, like that was what my parents wanted us to see. Like, this is what you will look like. And so it was one of those gut punching type things where it was like, oh, I can't. I'm sorry. He don't have no, like, oh my goodness. Never knew, like, so I will say this. I think that when you're getting your kids out there, the influences that you put in front of your kids can range in such a large area where it's like, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then it's to talk to them, what are your thoughts on it? We knew, like, we knew we didn't want to go down that particular path, but then I watched, my dad struggle with things and stuff like that. So every time I looked at something, I was just like, I don't think I want to do that. I don't think, you know what I mean? But then my mom was a young mother. So, and I ended up doing that, so it's like you pick and choose. You be like, it had to be good. So I got kids, but then I also was like, I just hope that whatever I have gone through and whatever I put in front of my kids, that they just don't go out there and shit on people.
Yo, them dogs is going ham, yo. Who's winning? Who's winning, bro? Like, who is winning?
She is, look.
Hey, boss lady.
Hey.
See what they tell, boss lady.
Oh my God. Hot breath.
No, listen, you know what, man? I think that a lot of us don't realize, consciously or unconsciously, most of us don't realize how much we turn out to be just like our parent.
Yeah.
How much we turn out to be like our father or our mother. Even the ones who argue and spat and don't get along with their mother and father, in fact, especially them, just alike a lot of the time. You grow up and you end up just like your parent. For me, end up like my father in a lot of ways, where just catch myself doing stuff and it's like, oh, I don't like that. My dad used to do that. And it's natural to you. So like a lot of the time we are products of our environment. You got to grow up to a point, realize that, and then start to educate yourself on where maybe you feel like you may be lacking.
Yeah.
Right. That's true. And man, listen, and then a lot of times, okay, we going I'm gonna cue up this video here in a second, right? A lot of times what happens too, no matter how much you try to teach a kid and try to show them the right way, they are just hard-headed and they just got to go out and learn, and get burnt, before they actually accept the seed that you are. Now, in this situation, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to play this video of Travis Hunter. And hold on. Let me play this video real quick. Hold on. And then hold on 1 second. Wait. This is Travis Hunter. Now, remember, Deion Sanders told him specifically, like, bro, get a prenup. And you know what? He did not get a prenup. He didn't listen. He was hard-headed. The girl is obviously, she ain't really into him like that. It's a train wreck that's about to happen. So when kids start acting like that, you got to let them go and let them do their thing. And for that, I say, fuck the kids, man. When you hard-headed, do your
Fuck
fucking
them
thing. If you
kids,
don't listen to me,
man.
then you go out here and you fuck up here.
Find out the
Because
hard
I don't
way.
have no reason to lie to you or whatever. I'm just telling you from your best interest why you shouldn't do these things. And hard-headed shit like that, hey, he just got to get burned, man. So fuck it, bro. Do your
Right.
thing.
My uncle used to say, hard head makes soft ass. So
That's
gonna
right.
fall. He's going to get it. But yes, you gotta let them, especially if you can pull receipts. If you can pull receipts and you looking at your life and you be like, didn't I tell you it was going up like dot 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 dot? And they be like, but I wanted to, and you be like, okay. And then they see it. Oh my God, that's when I sit back and I'm just like, hey, I'm just here to be supportive because I want you to make every decision for yourself.
Man,
like,
listen.
Don't listen and so yeah.
Man, listen, Travis Hunter, man. He's gonna learn, but here's the thing, man. His pops is in jail. Again,
he just got out though.
He's a product of his environment. His pops was in jail during those important years where it was time to be teaching them stuff. His pops was locked up.
Right.
Deion Sanders was a stand-in kind of father figure for him, and he had those guys around. But unfortunately, Travis is coming from a place where he ain't never, bro, felt love like he getting from that Spanish broad right now. He ain't never felt that kind of love, and that's where he caught up at. I remember I had a girlfriend when I was 19, bro. We broke up and I cried, Chuck. I cried. And I thought that was the biggest love I ever would have had when I was 19. And then I grew up and realized, like, oh, that really wasn't nothing. Here I thought that 18-month relationship was like the biggest thing that ever happened because at the time. So as a result of him not listening to his male figure saying, man, make sure you get a prenup, he's gonna learn the hard way.
Yeah.
Not only has she already shown signs not only has she shown that any male who is 21 years old entering the NFL, getting married at 21 years old, and going into a profession like that, statistics flat out show that that's the best move for you, period. Regardless of the things that she's already shown, the videos coming out of her with the other dude, the video of her saying, you really wasn't my type at first, all of the stuff that she said leading up to this before he decided to marry her anyway.
I'm naive to this. So look, wow.
If none of that existed, you still would advise in a vanilla situation, you still need a prenup. So with everything going on, you really need a prenup. He's gonna find out. It may take 10 years. It may take 15. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but forever is a long time. They could break up 20 years from now and she take half his money. Everybody's still gonna say, told you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's like, I mean, they like, if you look at Travis Hunter anyway, right? I mean, you could just tell, I mean, his maturity is that of a high schooler, like a young high schooler, or even middle schooler, man. His maturity level, you could tell, especially with females, he's square on these females, man. You know, I think, you know, by him being a champion athlete, you know, people, he's been protected by people because they knew he was that guy. So he don't have to go through a lot of the things that a lot of other people have to go through because people are going to look out for him. He's just, his life is on the football field, but out here in the wilderness, it's savage, bro. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't got burnt yet, or if ain't nobody really showed you the game and how people move,
don't know.
Right. So he's going to have to get burnt. He's obviously, you know, like I said, he sought her out when he was in high school and things like that. And man, you know, she said she didn't like him at first, but when she found out he was a star athlete, you know, she got on board with him and he been lacing her up and everything, man. So it's going to be a rough ride, dog. You know what I'm saying? But that's all right. Let's get to some of these comments. Okay. Jody D said, a hard head going to make half this shit gone for Travis. That's right. Then,
for real.
Oh, I know that's right. A hard head makes a soft ass for sure. I know firsthand. That's right. And we all know that. And that's why I don't understand why, you know, kids think that we just trying to stop them from having fun or whatever the case may be. bro, we already been through all the shit you doing. We've done it. So if you listen to it,
Damn
like,
near.
it's easier. You know what I'm saying? So I you know, so sometimes they just don't listen. So there's the only way you could do is drop a seed and just, like I said, let them go through it. And then when they come back humble, then, you know, it's a teachable moment. You know what I'm saying?
And
But it's going to be millions of dollars of a teachable moment for him.
But they don't realize how much they teaching us as well. Like my daughter started with going into stock and stuff like that. And it's like when she says, Mom, ... I'm like, okay, you know, had I been listening or had I done this, you know, maybe I'd be somewhere else. So it's like they're teaching us stuff too. So I don't understand why it's so hard for when they give us advice. They want us to take their advice. They're like, you got to listen. But it's never in that opposite way. So teachable moment.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and man, and like, it's like, you know, when it comes to relationships and things like that, it's so many broken homes out there that people are I mean, going to alternative lifestyles now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these doing things that, you know, when I was a kid, we didn't, I know it existed, but it didn't. I'm playing another video since we towards the end of the show. We're going to play a couple videos.
Yeah,
All
right.
right, check this video out. This is AJ Johnson talking about her dating life. Okay. I want y'all to hear this.
I haven't found a lot of men in America who are really appealing to me spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally. So my thing is, I've got the athlete that I hang out with. I've got the spirit that I pray with. You know, I've got the person that's adventurous that I travel with. So it's more lifestyle than it is the sexual connection for me. It's more like I'm not in a relationship, so I have more than one man I spend time with.
All right.
And, you know, as you see right there in that video, I mean, she's basically building a boo. You know what I'm saying? She's taking good parts out of many different men, and she's getting the best out, or the things that she likes out of them, and throwing the rest away. Man, listen, I keep telling everybody that, listen, all the basic dating and you know what I'm saying, and the sexual things, that's just fucking, that's fucking ground level stuff. You ain't even got into the real shit. People don't want to go through the changes that you have to go through to actually further your relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, the first law of anything is movement. But when you bring in about a lot of friction, it slows down that movement. We are stuck at the first fucking base, man. And a lot of people don't get further than that, man. And to get into deeper things, like, you know, really being spiritually connected with someone and just having a broader connection that's deeper than just the basic shit that she wants. She don't want to take no chances, and she just wants to get a little bit out of each guy. And I, you know, like I said, man, they're her hoes. So if you want to live like that, then go ahead.
I listened to that one. I actually listened to her, and I was like, like, I can see where she's coming from. But I think because it's said out loud, it's taboo. But I get it.
I mean, men do it all the time.
She sounds like a man.
She said she's in a masculine, like what they would say, masculine energy. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
She sounds like a man, but I mean, a lot of rich women give masculine energy. I mean, Kat, we've been telling females that for years. All your successful this and that, you don't know how masculine it makes you just by nature. You spend most of your days in masculine field. She's an actress, you know, again, field. I've heard so many complaints of Black female actress in their field and in their professional lives, that, you know, a lot of the time it just breeds just a masculine way of life without you even recognizing that you're doing it. She's right. For her lifestyle, multiple fit. But her lifestyle is probably traveling. She has lots of money. She does what she wants when she wants.
Right.
So it's like, you know, you live in that lifestyle. Sure, it is comfortable for that lifestyle, but it's one of those things where you won't always have those choices. At some point, your physical beauty is going to leave you. And we talking about quotes and granddaddies. You better use what you got to get what you want. So while you got it, you better use it to get what you want.
I must not have a lot, because
Hey, maybe you ain't using it right. We gotta talk. We gotta talk.
I've been using it. Oh my goodness, look.
But
I've
the
been
thing
using
is,
it.
listen. But the thing is like when you know, like you having different holes, it's like it's a temporary vacation. You know what I'm saying? It's cool for the temporary, but long term, I mean, after a while, it gets old, man. You know what I'm
It
saying?
does.
So it's
It
like
always get old after a while.
yeah, it gets old. So
It
you know,
gets old.
you would
Sorry.
think that a woman, you know, like she would want more. You know what I'm saying? Than just that. You know what I'm saying?
But
But I
maybe
think
he
that
can't give more than just that. I mean, that's the whole thing. Like,
that's
you can be the most amazing person. And see, I look at it as person, not man, not woman, but person. You can be the most amazing person, treat that person amazingly. But if they're not ready to accept what you have to give them, they're either going to show up or they're not going to show up. So then, yeah, you got to fulfill it with something else. And that goes for a man. If your woman is at home and she cooks, she cleans, she does this, but she don't give you head, you're going to be like, I'm going to find somebody to give me head. And if it's,
Nah, we leaving that bitch. She
see?
leave them niggas. I ain't dealing with no halfway steppers.
Hold
I'll
on.
tell you
Okay.
that
So
right
you would
now.
leave a woman. You would leave a woman if she doesn't give head. But as long as hold on. But then you get somebody that gives head, right? She gives the best head ever, but she don't cook. She don't clean. She don't do nothing else, but she gives some good head. And you would take that over a house being clean, a woman like supporting you and all that stuff, just because she's like, I don't.
They both can't. They both cancel. I'm gonna go find one and do it. I'm gonna find one and do it all because there's one out there to do it all. I don't see the point. That's gonna be me stepping out on the old girl, right? That's me stepping out, or you saying she giving me a pass anytime I want to? Are you making me out
I'm
to be a
saying
cheater?
that if you have the perfect woman that does everything, like multiple partners with you, that is the freak in the bed, in the sheets, and the everything, and she's also that person that's submissive and welcoming and cooks and cleans, and she does all of that. Those are the women that are normally not, in just in my opinion, normally passed over because a man wants something that's going to keep him on the hunt. Like, so once a woman is like, I'm going to make him happy, at least this is what I've seen, he would prefer the hunt. And that's why people cheat. Same with women. We prefer the hunt. If the man is not doing something, we like, somebody else is going to. That's why a man can come to a woman at work and say what he says, you know, are you beautiful? Because guess what? Your dude is not saying it at home. So he slips in and you think, I need that. It's a round robin thing.
right.
No,
But see, the thing is,
go ahead, bro.
go ahead, Dante. Go ahead.
No, I think like you said, you actually mentioned this maybe 2-3 minutes ago that it was about the person and the person being ready. You also mentioned a hunter. Man, you got to find a man that's ready to settle, and that matters way more than whether he's good or has a good relationship with his mom or if he goes to church.
Yeah.
Or that matters way more than that. A good man who has a good relationship with his mom, who goes to church, who if you ask him, where are you at right now? He says, man, right now I'm building, I'm doing some shit. It don't matter who comes along and what she has and all of that stuff. He's doing something right now. But either help him do it so he can get done with that and turn and look at you, or wait until he's done doing it. But when the time comes to take a woman, because every man, we're going to want to take a woman. A lot of the times, we're waiting until we get to where we're going. We're waiting until we get this business off the ground. We're waiting until we get into the NFL, the next level. We're waiting until we get this contract. Once a man get a contract and buy a house, guess what he start looking for? A woman.
A hunt.
But a
Right.
lot of the
Yep, when it's
times
secure.
we don't let him get to that point. We all down his throat while he's doing it, and then it's like, oh, he's a cheater. You caught him in the wrong time. This might be a good man, but the timing of it does matter.
I think that if you're to the point where you can't be what you need to be for that person, and you have a communication, use your words and say, look, baby, I love you, but I'm just going through some shit right now. And give that person, like we was talking earlier, off sidetrack, you give that person the option. So once you have the option in front of you, now I know whether I'm going to go left or right. If I decide to go down that path with you and stay with you through your cheating, through your this, through your that, that's the path I chose, and I need to be okay with that. I can't come to you and be like, you a cheater, you a this. I gotta stay right here because I know this about you.
All right. Hey, y'all, that's about our time. Any final thoughts, Dante? What you got? Final thoughts, man, before we get out of here.
Hey, man, listen, we need to teach our children to date. We teach our children to do everything else. You want to teach them how to date. Ladies, keep your legs closed. Fellas, no babies. We don't got a lot of time, so I'm going to keep it short. Kat, it's on you.
I'm on that double-edged sword, but I do agree. Keep your dicks in your pants and your legs closed until you're matured enough to handle the decisions that come with that.
Okay. Okay. My final thought is this. Listen, always, like I said, start raising your children. Don't just let them play video games. Let them learn about how things go, like I just said, because eventually they're going to have to be able to run their own household. So it don't start at 18, start before. And when you're looking for a mate, contrary to what AJ Johnson was doing, look for somebody that completes you. You know what I'm saying? Like like we said, if she don't know how to give head right and this and that, you know that you're not going to be satisfied with that. But find somebody that you can work with their flaws. Like, I don't need no woman that know how to cook, because I know how to cook. You know what I'm saying? So if she has everything else but that, then, she'll complete me. And I might complete her because she don't know how to cook. But anyway, that's our time. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Join me on Monday. I'm going to do a solo show by myself. I want y'all to tune in. It's going to be Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I got a whole bunch of things to cover. So I want y'all to tune in, and we're going to kick it, and we're going to learn some things together. But that's our time. Thanks y'all for tuning in. Please go and like and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Until next time, peace.